Welcome to NYSERDA's Energy Code Training website. During the next few minutes, I will take you through the steps necessary to set up an account and sign in to utilize the many programs available. When you arrive at NYSERDACodetraining.com, first-time users of the website must create a user account. The account setup page can be reached by clicking the account setup link at the top right corner of the home page. If you already have an account set up, returning users simply enter their username and password and click Sign In. In order to register for in-person and online courses, you must have an account and be signed in. So let's go ahead and set up an account. Choose Account Setup from the top menu bar. As you can see, this form asks you for pretty standard information. First name, last name. Now your email is going to be your login, and you have to set up a password. Please note, there's special rules for creating a password. Your new password must be at least 6 characters, contain 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, 1 numeric character, and 1 special character, which would be an exclamation point or a question mark. Don't worry though, if you put in an incorrect password, the system will tell you it's incorrect and provide guidance on how to correct it. One of the areas that you need to pay especially close attention to, however, is the Code Official and AIA member area. Most of the online courses offer optional continuing education credits for New York State Code Officials and AIA members. In order for your successful completion record to be correctly transmitted to either the New York State Department of State or AIA, it's vital that all of this information is entered correctly. So double check this information before submitting the form. Let's take a look at the online registration center. I will log in so that we can get started. You'll notice up here there's different areas that you can go to on the website. One of them is online training. That's the one we're going to focus on. Another is in-person training. This will allow you to register for in-person training classes. This is for plan review. There's an area for My Account, which we'll go into later. And there's a resource library with additional videos for your training. So, since we are focusing on the online training section of the website, we'll click on the online training box. This will bring us to the online training landing page. It's going to tell you a bit about what's available on online training. On the left, there will be a list of categories that contain courses that are available for you to take. These categories also reside in the top boxes: Energy Code Essentials in both places, Compliance Tools in both places, etc. You can click on either the box or on the topic to the left that you're interested in. Let's click on the Compliance Tools course. When you arrive on the Compliance Tools courses landing page, you will see options on the left menu bar for the available courses. You may take as many of these as you would like. They're available to you 24/7. Each course is broken into smaller lesson segments. Let's take a look at ResCheck Basics. This tells us that ResCheck Basics contains 5 separate lessons. Every lesson contains a quiz. After all lessons are completed, you will be provided with a test. The quiz scores are not recorded, but in order to obtain New York State Department of State credits or AIA credits, you must pass the final test with a score of at least 70%. Let's take a look at one of these lessons. ResCheck Basics is our course, and within the course there's 5 lessons. So let's choose Getting Started so that we can begin our course. Once you click on that, you'll come to the lesson menu. Within the lesson menu, there are 4 videos that are inside this lesson. You must click each one of them in order and watch them in their entirety. Let's launch one. You will notice that there's a transcript button here at the bottom right that will allow you to get a written transcript of everything that is said within the video. After you review all of the slides in the lesson, the last slide will contain a quiz. You must answer the question after you launch the quiz by clicking on one of the radio buttons in front of the answer that you think is correct. So let's read the question, and I think I will just choose number 1 to be correct. When I click submit, it will tell me if I'm correct or incorrect. If I chose an incorrect answer, I can click on view results. It'll give me an opportunity to retry the quiz. You don't have to answer it correctly, so you can choose finish if you'd like. You can review the quiz or retry it. This time, I think I'm going to choose the second answer. As you notice, the answers shuffled themselves. So as I choose that one and click submit, I now know that it's correct. I've selected the correct response. I can review the results. It says I answered the question correctly. I can then click on finish. This is going to show me that this lesson is now complete. It also tells you exactly what to do if you forget. It says to choose the exit button in the upper right hand corner. I'll do that, and then I'll choose exit now. This will take us back out to the course landing page where you'll see the other lessons. At this time, I can either provide course feedback, go to another lesson, go to another course, or take the course test. That's what we're going to do next. After you have completed all of the lessons, a test button will appear in the left navigation bar. When you click on the Take the Course Test, you will see 2 options. The first one is Testing for New York State Department of State in-service credit. If, when you set up your account, you inserted the correct Department of State numbers, it will allow you to launch the New York State Department of State test. If you did not, it will give you an opportunity to go into your account and make those changes in your registration record. There are a few rules that New York State code officials will need to be aware of when trying to obtain New York State Department of State in-service credit. You will be allowed to fail the test twice. If you fail the test once, you will be allowed to immediately take the test again. Different questions will be presented to you. If you fail the test a second time, you will need to retake the course from the beginning and repeat the whole process, watching each of the videos. If you don't want credits or would like credits other than New York State Department of State, you would choose the second option. The reason for the different testing options is that each agency has different rules for obtaining online credits. For this example, let's choose the New York State Department of State test. The first slide that you're going to see will be your instructions. Take the time to read them. Over here, you would launch your course test. Everyone will say whatever the course name is, and then course test. So click on that. You will need to select your answer by clicking on one of the radio buttons on the left. You have an option of skipping questions. You can go to the next. You can go to the previous one if you don't know the answer. Just know that at the end of the day, when you decide to submit your test, you need to submit the answer to 10 questions. You will have another opportunity to go back and review them. So let's just choose one and click next. You would continue on through this process until you get till the end, like I mentioned, and then you will submit all. After you choose the last answer to your last question, question number 10, this pop-up will come up. It says submit all. You will have a chance right now to go back and review your test or submit all of your answers. I'm going to choose submit all of my answers and see how I did. Oh geez, I failed. What that means is you will need to go back and retake the test. So if I click finish, so when I clicked finish, it takes me back to the screen where we started for New York State Department of State credits. You'll see in red, it says I have 1 attempt left to pass this test. So once again, my last attempt, I will take the Department of State test. As you can see, it starts me right from the beginning of the test, the introduction and the instructions for taking the test. So I will choose ResCheck's Basics Course Test on the left, and we will relaunch the test. Okay, this was my second attempt to take the test. Again, the pop-up window gives me an option to review my test or submit all answers. I'm pretty confident this time. I went back and reviewed everything, so I'm going to choose Submit All Answers. This is telling me that I passed. I got a 90, passing score was 70. It tells you here, please click Finish to continue. It's telling me my test is complete and actually what I need to do. If I want continuing ed credits, it tells me to go to my account, my credits, and redeem my continuing education credits. We'll do that in another one of these lessons. So I'm going to choose exit, then exit again, hit retry. We will come right back out here. It's telling me that my test is not offered because it's all done. I've completed my test. I do have an option here, however, if I want to take another test for AIA credits or just because I want to take another test, I can click here and take the test one more time. From this screen, you're going to be able to print your certificate as well as look at your report card. The report card will tell you all of the courses that you've taken and your status with those. So right now, to print our certificate and get credits, we would click right there. Over here, you will see it says your online credit for residential compliance using ResCheck. You completed the course. Here's where you have an opportunity to get your New York State Department of State credits and print your certificate. So if we click that, that's going to send the information to the Department of State, and your credits will be available within a month. You could also print your certificate. If we print on that, it will populate the screen so that your certificate with your name on it shows up. You can merely just print that on your home computer, your home printer. From here, you could actually look at My Courses. This is where you can track what courses you've completed and what the status is. If we scroll down to Compliance Tools, it shows you that for ResCheck, we completed all of the lessons and that we got a score of 90%. So that concludes our online training. You will notice another place that you could actually go to find out information about your account. Right at the top menu bar here, you'll see a link that says My Account. It will show you exactly what I just showed you, the My Credits, My Courses, your user data, etc.